Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
We have another great conversation with a fantastic representative of Deere ready to get kicked off. Right, Corey?
Yes, we do.
What are we rolling into here for our next conversation?
We're going to talk about some tractors, 24 model.
Ooh, 24 model.
With Ryan. We got Ryan here. Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, what you do for Deere.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today. My name's Ryan Jardin. I'm the go-to-market manager for large tractors and tillage equipment at John Deere. I've been with the company about 12, 13 years or so now. Originally from Southwest Iowa, went to Iowa State. And
Go Clones.
Go Cyclones.
AST grad.
And, I grew up basically being a farm machinery nerd. I mean, I'm pretty into tractors just on a personal level, and so this is kind of a dream job that I'm in now. I get to work with large tractors and tillage equipment every day at John Deere. So I work a lot with our factory representatives and then our sales regions that are selling the product, and I'm kind of the liaison between them. So I do a lot of things with dealers, dealer trainings, a lot of customer-facing things like we're doing here. So it's a pretty exciting role to be a part of.
So when you say nerd, were you like, that's a 40 series, there's a 30 series, that's a John Deere? Could you know every number of every tractor when you were younger?
I mean, every might be a strong statement,
Yeah?
but I could tell you quite a few, yeah.
He knows serial
Well,
breaks,
I'm
guys.
just going to tell you
Don't
this.
fool-
We graduated the same year from Iowa State, and I didn't meet him until today.
Really?
He hung out with a lot smarter people than me.
Oh, very good.
I spent every Friday and Saturday night in the library, of course, when I was in school.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah,
Just in
absolutely.
case Mom's listening. That's exactly what we're talking about. So Commodity Classic is one of the premier trade shows. And when you come, it's neat to see what's the latest, the newest, and the shiniest sitting on the carpet. So what are we looking at today in John Deere's booth for the newest tractors?
You bet. So we've got a few model year 24 tractors here, and we typically would introduce our next model year tractors about this time of year. This is a model year 24 8R410 that we're sitting in front of here. A lot of the new features on it for 24 all center around precision ag and advancing precision ag capabilities for that machine. So when you think about things like the G5 display, which is larger, brighter picture, it's faster, it's easier for a customer when they're in cab to do those precision ag applications that they want to be doing. It also helps us to pave the way for other future technologies that will be coming in the near future, such as this outfit that you see here behind us. This is actually our autonomous tillage solution that's up here. And so
what was this one? This is Jupiter?
so this has our autonomous technologies on it. And so like the cameras that are on the front of the weights and the cameras that are on top of the cab there, that is the perception system on this machine. And so it's looking for any anomalies that it might see in the field to know that it needs to either stop or steer around those. And so the new technology that's coming on these machines helps us to pave that way for these machines to run autonomously in the future. These tractors have integrated Starfire 7000 receivers in them as well, and so right out of the factory they have that GPS position receiver and also the display to run those precision ag applications straight from the factory. So there's no third parties that a farmer would have to interact with. That machine is fully precision ag capable right from the factory. Another nice feature, just from a customer comfort standpoint, we now have rear window tint available on tractors as well, which is something that you wouldn't think would be a big deal, but if you're running in there on a bright sunny day, that rear window tint really makes that in-cab experience a lot more pleasant when you're in there for long days, sunny days, things like that. Really,
Our listeners are first-hand knowledge of you want a lot of windows for visibility, but you also know what comes with a lot of windows.
Yep.
It lets a lot of sun in.
The comfort features inside the cab are really there to help make those long days really easy. Like, for instance, this tractor has heated, ventilated leather seat in it that also has massaging capabilities as
my
well.
goodness.
So you hit a switch in the armrest and you can get a my while you're going through
I'm pretty sure that's what that guy's doing right now.
I
It
just
might
saw
be. It
him
looks
hop in
like it.
there.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Well, and think of our vehicles. They all have that technology, so why not Why not something we spend more hours on?
And that's a lot of why we did it, right? We do a lot of customer interviews, get a lot of feedback from our customers, and that's exactly what they said was we want our machines to feel more like our pickups, to be that comfortable for us to spend. They may be spending 12, 14, 16 hours a day in the cab. Want it to be comfortable.
Emma, you need to get a video of what this guy is doing in the cab because this is exactly what you designed it for. Did you see him? He turned the seat almost all the way around the operator station. And then what did he do? He spun back forward and put his feet up on top of the pedals.
Yeah.
You're going to need a button for podcasts in there that just says, ding.
Yeah, can we get that standard?
Can we get that standard on the next new? We got the guy right here.
So you said this is going to pave the way for the future of autonomy, but could someone buy that and go out and autonomously farm now?
So we're still working through the final stages of getting the autonomous system fully ready for sale. And so a lot of what the features that are on it now will be capable of doing that once we have that full capability built in. So we have units that are running this past fall, running autonomously, and then we'll have more out this coming spring. And so, autonomy is becoming a hot topic in agriculture, just when you think about labor challenges and the availability of skilled labor, being able to find enough folks to do those jobs in the spring and fall, especially when times are tight to be able to do that job. Autonomy can help free up that capacity for a given farmer. And so, they may be able to turn the machine loose overnight, for instance, and have it run doing tillage in a field overnight, and then they come back and tend to it in the morning.
Get some sleep.
How far?
Absolutely.
You don't have to be right or politically correct or anything, but your gut feeling. How far out are we in the future until that is the norm? That everybody owns autonomy and autonomous tractors.
Difficult to say, but I mean, within our lifetimes, I think would be pretty fair to say that more and more autonomy in either on farm, on road, wherever will become more and more familiar for all of us.
It seems like the future is coming faster than we think, because
yeah.
think of even cell phones, and we're not that old, guys, but when just how much that technology is doubled, tripled, quadrupled annually, it seems to be going faster to me. With small technology, I got to assume that tractors are the same.
For sure. One of the quotes that I like to think of is that the speed of technology has never been as fast as it is today. The speed of technology advancement has never been as fast as it is today, but it will also never be as slow again as it is right now.
Yep.
And so I think when you think about things are going to just get faster and faster for us over the coming years.
So as I looked at this, I got to jump in here, I looked at the tractor yesterday as we were setting up. And like you said, the sensors on the front weights, the sensors all around this tractor, it takes very little for me not to be able to see out of my wife's backup camera or the backup camera on my pickup. What do we have for a solution to keep those sensors clean in an environment that's rarely clean?
Yeah, it's a good question. So really these, the sensors, the cameras would only need cleaned about once a day, if even that. Even in the conditions that they're running in, they are pretty, I don't want to say resistant to getting dirty, but the performance that we've seen in them, they've kept themselves clean enough to where we have that confidence in its ability to run. And obviously, our number one priority when we look at autonomy is safety. And so, if for whatever reason a sensor got too dirty and we thought it wasn't safe, we would then stop the machine and have to have somebody come out and clean it. I do want to touch a little bit on, I kind of talked through preparation for autonomy and kind of a lot of the tech that's coming to help pave that direction. We have an option now for model year 24 that we're calling autonomy prep on these tractors. And so that is allowing you, when you order a model year 24 tractor, to purchase the features or the components on there that we know for sure you're going to need if you want to run autonomously. And so that can be things like the G5 display, the receiver, but also stuff like the big alternator, backup alarm, hood switches, just things that we know you're going to need these things if you want to run autonomously in the future. There will be other stuff, such as the cameras, that'll come at a later time, but we thought it's important to have folks be getting the right stuff that they need now, so that in the next few years they can start to run autonomously.
Yep. So the farmer side of me, you got an autonomous tractor. I can get that. What about what's going on the tillage side behind it? The implements that you're pulling, is there autonomy coming to that? Because I want to know that it's doing the best job when I'm not there.
Absolutely. Yep. So one of the things that we're working on is the whole job quality piece. And so for tillage or really any job, that machine has to do a good job, right? Because autonomy only works if it does as good or better than
Status
an
quo.
operator in the cab. And so a few of the things or a few of the examples that are on this tillage tool that would be just that are, you see there's some working lights on the back there. And so that helps the cameras that are up here on top of the cab, that helps them see behind the tool to look at, hey, is that tool causing any streaks that are back there and that we need to make some adjustments on. We also just introduced TrueSet Active, which is taking some of the decision points of depth on a tillage tool. It takes and it automates those. And so this machine has a frame height sensor on it that it constantly monitors how far it is off the ground, which then turns into how deep is it working. So if it gets into, starts to see mud build up on tires or tires sink, it can adjust itself automatically based on that. You'll also notice that we have a position receiver, a GPS receiver, Starfire 7000 on this tillage tool itself. And so when we run autonomously, we want to be very confident in where that tool is, especially when we want to back up into corners and things like that. We want to know where that tool is, and so that's why we've got the position receiver right there on the implement.
Yep. This is going to be huge for like the strip till application. You got to know where it's at. Everything is VR'd. Everything's variable rated, right? Seed, fertilizer, chemicals. Now you could probably variable rate your tillage.
You can variable rate the tillage, yeah. So this machine that we're here in front of has actually 6 different features on it that you can variable rate or you can control with TrueSet. And so one of the big ones, of course, that everybody goes to is depth. And so depth you can variable rate. You can variable rate the gang angle. Yep. These 2660 VTs have variable rate gang angles. We can do fore aft adjustment, side to side down pressure, rolling basket down pressure.
You know how many different soil types are in a farm that you sell.
Definitely.
They all don't till the same.
No, they don't. And I was thinking, we get notifications on our phone. I've seen 20 people look at the notifications on their phone. I'm assuming this is sending notifications to us as the farmer, operator, that if something's wore out even, like, hey, it's time to change this. I mean, we get notifications on our truck. Hey, you've driven this many miles. It's time to change your oil. What kind of new technology is there to tell us, or is there any technology to tell us there other than just do a better job, but hey, keep your equipment lasting longer?
Yeah, so I think Matt touched a lot on John Deere Operations Center, and just that being the data platform that a customer interacts with their agronomic data and their machine data within. So you mentioned like notifications coming to your phone. So Operations Center also has Ops Center Mobile, and that gives you the ability to check what's going on in your farm right there in real time on your phone. And so you can basically, as a farmer, you can be managing your farm pretty much right from your phone. And when we get to autonomy, when we're running fully autonomous, your phone, John Deere Operations Center Mobile, will actually be the control point for that machine to run autonomously.
Tanner, make sure your kids are playing video games.
Yeah, it's
just
a
make sure.
It's a skill that will be valuable.
It will.
In the future. Well, this has been a great conversation. Short, but I think we teased them enough to go dig in and find it more out for themselves. How do they do that?
You bet. So their local John Deere dealer is a great first resource to reference, and we'd invite everybody to visit with their local John Deere dealer. Also, johndeere.com is a great place. If they happen to be here at Commodity Classic, we invite them to come into the booth here.
Right. Ryan, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us. And we're going to one more conversation before we wrap up today in the episode for the latest available to producers.
Thank you, guys.